So with all the characters in Season 2 being released, it's time to update the tier list. And in total, we should have around, I believe, 56 characters in total in the game. But if you saw my last tier list, you would know they look something like this. And we have all of these brand new characters ready to rank. And we have the Season 2 Asta, Charmy, Ghosh, Noel. And then we also have Gifso, I believe that's how you say his name, Julius, Kahono, and also Kiato as well. But first things first, which characters in the current tier list have gotten better or have actually gotten worse? And starting with the D tier, I'm actually going to go ahead and take Alec Dora from the C tier and put him all the way down into the D tier, because realistically, he is just a very, very slightly better version than Shiren, which just really doesn't make him very good at all anyway. So he's going to join Shiren and also the rest of all the R characters in the D tier. And then for the C tier, I'm actually going to go ahead and bump Luck all the way up into the B tier, probably as the worst character in the B tier. As to be fair, against single target enemies, his skill 2 can actually deal a lot of damage, as well as him being able to ignore partially amounts of the enemy's defense with his special skill as well. It's also really, really good, which is going to put him in the B tier. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put Jack the Ripper also into the B tier, and he's going to go slightly above Luck, as Jack the Ripper has gained, I guess, some better usages, especially with the brand new world boss that's currently out. So it's all tailored around you being able to deal as much damage as you possibly can. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and grab the regular SR Noel, and I'm going to bump her down all the way to the very, very top of the C tier, as especially with the release of the brand new Noel, this SR Noel literally has 0 usages anymore, and there's pretty much no point in ever using this character, because the current Season 2 Noel does what this Noel or the SR Noel does better, but also 10 times better, whilst also being able to do a bunch of other things as well. And then moving on to the A tier, I'm actually going to go ahead and grab the regular SR Charmy and put her down to the bottom, well, not the bottom, to the very top of the A tier, as considering there's literally another healer that is also a Charmy that is also blue is pretty much just way better. It just means that this Charmy, just like the current SR Noel, just doesn't really have any other usages. And then onto the S tier, we're actually going to have quite a few characters move down all the way to the A tier, as we're going to have Red Yami. He's going to go ahead and fall below Blue Yami and also Sally. Then we have the Red Season 1 Asta, who's also going to go behind them, as well as also the SSR Charlotte as well. And this will then bring me on to all of the brand new characters that came out with Season 2. And starting off with the free Season 2 Asta, he is just a very slightly better character than the current SR Asta, but is still definitely better than Veto. As honestly, I think they both, the actual SR Asta and the current Season 2 Asta's kits, are very, very just whatever. They're very equal. I think just because this current Season 2 Asta has just slightly better stats, it's just going to make him go straight up into the B tier. And then we've got the Season 2 Charmy. Season 2 Charmy is going to go just below the Season 1 Mimosa for me, as in comparison to Mimosa, they are very, very similar, and also in terms of how good they are. But I think just because Mimosa has something that is so unique in terms of her resurrection, as well as being able to extend the duration of buffs, I think is really, really good, and is sometimes actually slept on, to be honest. But it is actually razor thin close between the Charmy and also Mimosa, as Charmy is also great because she gives defense buffs as well. The continuous HP recovery is amazing, and when she has dupe, it literally makes your whole team so durable, so survivable, and just incredibly difficult to deal with. And then we have the Season 2 Ghosh. Season 2 Ghosh is going to go straight into the A tier, as well as all the other characters in the A tier, as he's pretty much just a nuking support character who does also come with stuff like damage reductions and accuracy buffs, and also just a bunch of other things as well. But his main value will always come from his skill 2, as a skill 2 just gives an all attack bonus to a designated ally, as well as the intense sunlight as well, which is a permanent 5% damage increase. And then you can also give weapon enhancement on his skill 1 as well to all of your allies. So he's just a complete damage support. But I think considering people like Vengeance, Valtos, and also Finral, especially if you compare him to Vengeance, I think because Vengeance can give the speed and mobility buffs, as well as Valtos and also Finral can also do that, I think just makes him so much more valuable, as your speed stat and also your mobility, and how filled your mobility or stamina bar is just really, really crucial in all forms of content, which is why he's kind of separate from the rest, which is again why Finral, Valtos, and Vengeance are in the S tier and Ghosh is not. And then we have another blue support in Gifso, which I believe is how you say his name, I'm really not too sure, and he's going to go to the very top of the B tier, as he functions very similarly in terms of Nebra, in terms of where you can actually use him, as I'm pretty sure like his only really like main usage is going to be in the Hall of Illusions, as he's really, really good for a lot of the bosses, as he can give increased boss damage, all attack bonuses, and just flat damage increases as well, and he can remove damage over time effects like bleed and also poison, I believe, on his skill 2 and also special skill as well, which is what makes him actually somewhat valuable in PvE. But because he literally has 0 uses in PvP, and I guess Nebra can have some use in PvP, is why he's in the B tier and not in the A tier with Nebra. But overall, he's just another damage support, and is also just really, really good for other PvE bosses. And then we have the best character in the whole game, which is going to be Julius Novachrono. He is the best character in the game, going to the very top of S tier. The difference between him and a lot of characters is quite big, to be honest, as a DPS character, he is just hyper aggressive. He just has a lot of things going on with his kit. He has a bunch of CC CC, a bunch of damage, a bunch of survivability. He is just amazing. As his special skill has stuns, extra attacks, a bunch of damage, as well as his skill 2 having mobility depletion if you have his skill page, which will also give him a 10% all attack bonus, which is one of like the best skill page passives in the game. He's fast. He's one of the fastest attackers in the game. I believe the second fastest attacker in the game behind the Season 1 Asta. And with his max dupes or his final passive, you can give him a complete revive where he's going to revive himself with 100% of his HP, which means you have to take him out twice, which is unbelievably powerful. And then we have Kahono, and she is better than the actual SR Charmy, but is also just worse than pretty much all the other characters in the A tier, which is why she's going to land herself at the very bottom of the A tier, as there's really no other reason for you to use her, to be honest, as she doesn't, I don't really think has really anything that can compete with the current Season 2 Charmy as a blue healer anyway, as she does give all attack bonuses on her special skill. She has defense increases as well as a barrier as well, which is all good, and I believe she also scales off of max HP as well with some of her stuff as well, which is also pretty good, but she just doesn't do anything as well as Charmy does in terms of actual healing output, so which is why she's going to land herself in the A tier, at the very bottom of the A tier. She's very close to being at the top of B tier. And then we have Kyato. Kyato is my bias is telling me better than Fana, but my realism is telling me not better than Fana, as Kyato is just a complete single target specialist and is great for just nuking down bosses, as well as having really consistent and easy crits, as all you need to do is buff him, and he also gets some sort of survivability with those buffs that he gives himself with his passive as well, which is always really good and really handy. And in arena he's also really decent because you can just pretty much one-shot any character that you want, but when you pair him up with like someone like Vengeance, who can increase his speed, attack, and also give him damage reduction as well as counters, it makes him just really good. And then the very final character of the tier list is going to be the Season 2 Noel, who's also going to join Julius and the rest of the characters in the S tier, as this Noel is honestly just a jack of all trades, has it all, literally can do anything you can possibly think of in the game, as she has a bunch of damage with her special skill and also her counters and also her skill 1 as well. She has a bunch of damage increases. She gives your whole team a massive barrier and can give a designated ally an even bigger barrier, which will then give them counters as well. She can heal on her skill 2 if you actually have a skill page, but I wouldn't really recommend using that because it's not really needed. And she's quick as well, 106 speed. It puts her just one speed lower than Julius, which is still a really good amount of speed, as most characters, or at least most attackers in this game, have a speed stat of 103, which makes her just much better than pretty much every other DPS in this game. And when you just want to pretty much one-shot someone's whole entire team with one go, she is the person to do that because of her special skill having a bunch of AoE damage. She has incredibly high stats, really good magic attack stat, and then she can also be ran without any dupes, as in comparison to Julius, who kind of feels like for some people that he might need dupes so he can get his revive at 100% of HP. You don't need Noel and pretty much with any dupes, to be honest, as all she will get at her 5th dupe is going to be able to get that Blessing of Water protection buff or whatever to give herself counters and stuff like that. So there you have it. That is my tier list for Season 2 of Black Clover Mobile, and don't forget to let me know in the comments down below whether you agree with this tier list or not, and if you enjoyed this video or you found it useful or helpful, then don't forget to like and subscribe as well, as it helps a ton and it's free, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.